Welcome everyone, this is Honest Restart, and today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase that was announced at 3 AM last night, and what that may entail. Is it going to be something exciting? We're going to be giving some soft predictions here, and sort of talking about why this one may be a little bit of a bigger deal than previous ones. Now before we jump into things, I want to quickly talk about my social media. There's a Twitter page, a Discord community, a Patreon page, and a Twitch channel. If you are interested in any of that, check it all out. It's linked in the description below. And of course, if you like what you're seeing here, also subscribe. Now before I get into my predictions, or my soft predictions here, I first want to set the expectation that my expectations aren't incredibly high. They're a little higher than usual, but let's consider that the first two partner showcases were disappointing for a lot of people. Now, it's not to say that they won't have some pretty cool announcements. There have been some, so there may very well be some with this one, but they aren't like your general Nintendo Directs or your Nintendo Directs minis. They don't have as many announcements. They're not going to have big first-party games there. That just won't happen. So definitely we should go into this with tempered expectations for sure. However, this one I think is a little bit different because they announced this more than a day in advance, and it's going to be live streamed. The previous two partner showcases weren't shown in that way. So the first one was announced at midnight, another weird time, but it was only 10 hours in advance. This one is over 24 hours in advance. They're giving us an entire day to talk about that and build up anticipation. The first one was overnight. Some people didn't even see the announcement. By the time they were up and about for that day, the show was already out. And then the second partner showcase was just dropped randomly in the middle of a week. No one expected it, no one saw it coming in that way, and that was pretty much it. And both of these partner showcases were not received very well. The like to dislike ratios on YouTube were not favorable ratios compared to most other Nintendo Directs. But with this third partner showcase, not only is Nintendo giving us an entire day to talk about it like we're doing now, but also it's being live streamed. It's not just a video that they're going to upload randomly. So we're going to have an opportunity to live stream it. So we may be doing that tomorrow morning, and there's going to be a lot more reactions. Maybe they're anticipating that there'll be a lot more things to live react to. Maybe it will be a little bit more exciting. I do think there's a potential of that. But I also think it should be noted that maybe Nintendo wants us to be more excited about this one because the other two were disappointing. Maybe they want to go out this one with a little bit more oomph because the partner showcases have not gained the recognition of being a really popular, awesome show from Nintendo. They're being considered one of the worst forms of directs we've ever gotten. So maybe Nintendo wants to change that narrative a little bit here with this one. So they are giving us more opportunity to build up our anticipation. Now, with that built up anticipation, you gotta think they would have something better. So in fear of being disappointed, I'm not gonna expect anything that much better, but I do think there's a chance it may be a little bit better than the other partner showcases. Now before we get into my specific predictions of what we may see, I think we should also talk about another thing that's kind of interesting that's been going on here. So if we go back the last 4 weeks, every week we've got some sort of announcement from Nintendo. So if we go back about 4-ish weeks ago, we had the Indie World Showcase. Then the week after that, we had the Partner Showcase, the second one we talked about. Then the week after that was the Mario Anniversary Direct. And then the week after that, we got the announcement of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. And now this week, which was just the week after the reveal for Hyrule Warriors, we are getting another Direct Mini Partner Showcase. Not even a month afterwards, it's a little bit sooner. And I want to also note that on September 26th, which is basically about a week from now, about a week and a half, we're getting more news on Hyrule Warriors. So it looks like we're going through an entire period here that's going beyond a month, where there's some sort of Nintendo announcement every single week, and they're really filling out all the details in terms of what games are coming up for the rest of the year on the Nintendo Switch. Now when it comes to specific Nintendo games, like, you know, your Zeldas, your Marios, I think that's pretty much already been talked about already. The partner showcases are about third-party stuff. What's interesting about that, though, is that with the first partner showcase, we did technically have a Nintendo published game in there, and that's the re-release for Cadence of Hyrule. Nintendo helped out with an indie developer, they published that game, and they're going to publish this physical release of the game as well. So that is sort of a blurred line situation here, where we're going to see some sort of third-party effort during this partner showcase, and it may very well be something that's being published by Nintendo, but it's still going to be something that's developed by a third-party partner. Now, what would that be? The only thing that really comes to mind is Bravely Default 2. Nintendo is publishing that, Square Enix is working on it, so maybe that could be in this partner showcase, and considering that there seems to be a little bit more anticipation being built up for this one by Nintendo, maybe that's what they're going to do. We've been sort of waiting on news about this game throughout the year. It's technically still slated for 2020. It was shown off alongside No More Heroes 3 at the Game Awards last year, and both these games were supposed to come out for 2020. No More Heroes 3 has been delayed. Will Bravely Default 2 also be delayed? Potentially, but there isn't any published Nintendo game coming out for December, so maybe during this partner showcase, they announce Bravely Default 2 for December. I think there's a possibility of that, and if we don't get news of Bravely Default 2 during this partner showcase, at that point, I'm gonna start to assume that at least probably Bravely Default 2 has been delayed and won't be coming out until next year. So, tomorrow, we'll see. If we see Bravely Default 2, it's coming out this year, I think. If we don't, I think it's coming out next year. Going beyond Bravely Default 2, what else could we see? Well, I don't expect this, but I'm going to put it out there. I do think we are sort of due for some sort of announcement for a Smash Bros. Character. But Smash Bros. Is a Nintendo thing. Why would that show up during a partner showcase? It might show up during a partner showcase if it's an announcement for a third-party character. So then, what could that character be? Maybe Ryu Hayabusa. We've seen some talks about a new Ninja Gaiden games or a Ninja Gaiden trilogy coming over in a few months. Maybe that's in the works. Maybe they'll announce Crash coming to Switch and they'll announce Crash coming to Smash Bros. As well. Maybe we still get some No More Heroes news and maybe they announce Travis Touchdown. Those are all possibilities. I'm not really super confident in terms of who that character may be. If No More Heroes 3 was coming out this year, I might feel more strongly about predicting Travis Touchdown. But because that's been delayed until next year, if Travis Touchdown is coming, maybe we'll see that next year for the Smash DLC. My point is here that I think there's at least a chance that we'll see a Smash DLC announcement, but it's going to be for a third-party character. But I'm not sure who it's going to be, and I'm not even super sure that they will have a Smash DLC character here, because this is a partner showcase, not a full-scale Nintendo Direct or even a Nintendo Direct Mini. It's something lesser than that. But Nintendo is building up a little bit more anticipation here, so we shall see. Going beyond that, another game that I've been sort of waiting to see more information on is Doom Eternal for Nintendo Switch. Supposedly that's coming out this year. If it is coming out this year, I think we're going to see it during this partner showcase. That makes a lot of sense. I think this is the final time that they would announce it, talk about it, and give us a date, be it a month or two from now when it's actually coming out. And like Bravely Default 2, if it doesn't show up, I just don't think it's coming out this year, and maybe Nintendo's saving it to come out alongside a Switch revision sometime next year, potentially. Going beyond all of that, there is one more major game that I think might show up during this partner showcase. Maybe, but probably will be saved for a little bit later. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about all the other things I'm not predicting. Or I am predicting, I guess. I'm predicting a whole bunch of games that I don't really care about or don't know about, a lot of smaller stuff. That's how most of the partner showcases have been. I don't expect this one to not have a whole bunch of small stuff. It's going to have a lot of smaller games in there as well, but I'm hoping for some bigger stuff like Bravely Default 2, like Doom Eternal, maybe. So the big game I was alluding to is a new Monster Hunter game. It's been rumored for a few weeks now. Supposedly it would be announced for the Tokyo Game Show. We are approaching the Tokyo Game Show. Maybe Nintendo wants to announce it first, or Capcom wants Nintendo to announce it first in a Nintendo Direct, so that way there's more eyes on it, and then after that, in the Tokyo Game Show, they will talk more about it and give us gameplay details. That's a possibility, and that would be a big, huge reveal for this partner showcase. Is that possible? I think it is possible. I think a precedent has already been set. So with the first partner showcase, we actually had a trailer for Shin Megami Tensei 5 confirming a 2021 release. I think that's a pretty big deal of a game, something we've been waiting years for news on, so I think that would be comparable to a Monster Hunter for Switch announcement for next year as well. So I have a hope that maybe we see that. And that's pretty much it. My expectations for this partner showcase don't really go beyond that, and I feel like that's already a lot. And I'm not saying all of these things will show up there. Maybe one of these things will show up there. Maybe none of these things will show up there. I'm simply suggesting that I think this one will have a few more exciting announcements than previous partner showcases because of the way Nintendo's presented this one, giving us more than a day in advance to sort of anticipate it and talk about it, and also because it's going to be live streamed. But we shall see. And before I close things out, for those who are curious about Bayonetta 3, I think it's a big deal. I think it's a huge game that Nintendo and Platinum Games are working on. But because of how big it is and how close to Nintendo it is, I think Nintendo's gonna save that for another time. If it ends up being the big December game, oh man, that would be exciting, but I just don't expect that. So that's just my thoughts on the matter. But that's it. That's all my thoughts on what this partner showcase may entail. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, everyone, this is On Just Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.